Good evening and welcome to the Florida Weather Watch's update for the upcoming week and a major upcoming weather pattern change that is coming to not just the state of Florida, but for the entire United States of America, as we will be going from what feels like early summer here in Florida all the way back to a late winter, early spring pattern over here in Florida, as there will be some big time changes happening in the weather pattern across the United States. But before I continue into the actual video and going into the forecasting of this weather change and why it's happening, please make sure you go ahead and click on that subscribe button below the video. This will help me grow my channel even further as I continue to make more and more changes and work on improving the quality of your videos, as well as giving this a thumbs up, hitting that like button, and most importantly, please share this out with as many people that you know in the state of Florida, as this will help also greatly expand the community as well. So, before you are the headlines that this week we will continue with sunny, hot, and dry conditions across the state of Florida. Not much will change in that aspect. But then over the weekend into next week, a big weather pattern change happens for the United States of America that will affect us here in Florida, as rain and storms will return to the area finally after a long break from some wet weather, and it will start turning cooler once again here in Florida. So let me go ahead and get out of the screen. And what we're going to go ahead and take a look at is a view that I have not shown you yet. Okay, this may look a little bit complicated, so I'm going to make this very, very easy. Okay, so when you're looking at this imagery right here, what you really need to focus on is the colors. Okay, this is giving us what's called the 500 millibar height anomalies. Okay, very simply put, it tells us where there's areas of lower pressure and higher pressure in the mid levels of the atmosphere. And that's what usually generally causes weather changes in uh, the United States, especially in the continental United States here, where what you need to focus on is whenever you see the brighter colors here, we're talking about the reds and the pinks and everything here. This is where you are experiencing areas of high pressure. Okay, and typically with areas of high pressure, what you are going to experience is the following. Okay, and I upgraded my pen tool so that I can go ahead and type on here. So what that means is it's typically going to be warmer weather. It's going to be drier weather as well, um, and it is going to be also less humid as well in these areas. Okay, which actually goes with drier, so that's null and void. Okay, so what we're going to be looking at is with areas of high pressure like this, you are going to see areas of warmer air, drier air across the United States in those areas typically. Now, when you look over here, right off to the side here, you see these darker colors, the blues, the purples, the deeper purples here. That is what is typically low pressure. And what that usually does is it goes ahead and you're going to see cooler weather. You're going to see wetter weather. And this is where you could get also some stormy patterns going on in the atmosphere. So this is going to be pretty much telling us where our areas of low pressure are going to be setting up, our areas of high pressure are going to be setting up over the next couple weeks. And what you're going to notice is I want you to really pay attention to the colors as I go through time here. Okay, and these are called anomalies because this is a difference from the normal conditions at these areas. So anytime you see these colors here, you're looking at cooler weather, stormier weather. Anytime you see these brighter reds and these pinks, even up here, which is insane up here near Greenland, these browns and everything, you're getting very dry, much warmer than usual conditions. Okay, so what I'm going to go ahead and do is clear this. And I want you to notice as I go ahead and step this through time here. Pay attention to the areas of high pressure here, okay? So what you're going to notice here is we have our high, our mid-level high that is right here over the southeast United States here, around a high, the air circulates in this direction. For the areas of low pressure, which is right here, that goes counterclockwise, like so, typically, okay, in the northern hemisphere. So what I want you to notice is as I go ahead and go through time here, you're going to notice that this is going to shift a lot in time. Okay, so this is currently this was as of this morning, and as I go ahead and I'm going to step this through time, what I want you to notice is this area of low pressure here, this area of high pressure. And I want you to notice as this area of high pressure will start shifting over to Mexico. Okay, so stepping through time, it starts to shift a little bit eastward away from the Florida Peninsula here. And as I keep on shifting, you're going to notice down by Wednesday, you're going to notice a few things going on. We have an area of low pressure right here in the Atlantic. We have our area of high pressure right here, kind of building with high pressure over the Greenland area. And then this area of low pressure that is going to continue to, by the way, pump major snowfalls and heavy rains into California and the western United States yet again. These areas have been receiving an insane amount of rain and snow. Mammoth Mountain, Colorado, Mountain, California, has seen up to 58 feet of snow this winter season so far. But that's going to continue as this area continues to pump in more and more moisture and storms. But as I keep on stepping through time here, what I want you to notice is the pattern is going to eventually change. You're going to see that this area of low pressure is going to start trying to build into the United States here. And as I step it through time into Thursday, now watch this. Very intense area of low pressure now building along near the Oregon and Washington coastlines. Notice our area of high pressure, the concentration of high pressure, has now shifted from where it was over here on Monday to the desert southwest here. What that means is that it's going to start affecting the flow, and the flow is going to go over top like this, and it's going to start bending around to the south here, around this area of high pressure here. And what that's eventually going to do is as this area of high pressure starts building into Mexico, this area of low pressure and the storms with it will be able to start diving down into the southeast United States. So watch this closely as it steps through time here. Let me go back to my pointer. I'm going to leave this up here so you can kind of visually see it. So watch as this area of low pressure goes into the western United States here. And as it starts falling down, this is this weekend. And then bada boom. Now this is early next week. Notice how the colors have completely changed here in the United States. Now what we see is a general pattern of lower pressure and stormy pattern over the northeast United States here. So now what we see here is we see our low right here. We see a trough of low pressure all the way down into Florida here. So what that means is it's going to pump down cooler air into Florida, and stormier weather will come into Florida here. High pressure now builds over the southwest here, finally giving California a chance to breathe from all of the heavy rain and snowstorms. But it also allows the possibility for storms to ride this up here, down into the United States here, and continuing a cooler, wetter pattern over the United States and the eastern United States down here. So notice how now the colors have changed from being red and pink here. So now we're starting to see blues here. And this is best reflected when we look at what's called the Climate Prediction Center outlooks. So this is a 6 to 10 day temperature probability outlook. And what you're going to notice is for Florida, especially the northern part of Florida here, you're going to notice that there is going to be some cooler weather, and that you can kind of see the jet stream right here, how it dips down this way across the United States. And what happens is on the backside of this cooler air and stormier air wetter air starts coming down into the southeast United States. Notice how you have the warmer air building over New Mexico and the desert southwest here. This is going to be where your area of low pressure generally sets up right here. And around it, remember the counterclockwise flow. That will go ahead and deliver some cooler air, some wetter air to south to all of Florida here in next week. It's going to take a while to develop, but it will develop over the weekend, and the pattern will change um, as we go through time here. So we keep on going through time. It builds in even further. Notice now we have some deeper colors here over the northeast United States. This would be a full-on nor'easter with some pretty heavy snows for the northeast United States here going into the middle of next week. And then it really sets in strong here. Big deep area of low pressure of the northeast United States. This would be that full classic nor'easter that you're typically used to up in the northeast, delivering some heavy snows. You could see kind of like the extent of the cold front down here. This would be extending cool air all the way down into South Florida. And this is best reflected in this next map I'm going to show you, where I'm going to show you what the temperature anomalies are going to be. So notice how right here, the darker colors represent the lower areas of lower pressure. The red colors represent higher pressure. And notice how it's also reflected when I switch over to this view. Okay, notice how the areas with high pressure are warmer. These deeper, brighter colors of red and dark red and maroon here. And I notice how there's all these dark blues, these purples here. That represents lower temperatures. So again, I'm going to go ahead and step it through time and notice how eventually the areas of warmer weather will go ahead and migrate this way. That's where warm weather will go. And then the cooler air right here will start sinking across the United States here. So this is where your, let me go ahead and type this. This is where cooler air will filter down. Okay, and then this area right here is where the warmer air will go ahead and filter from east to west. And I want you to notice that and I'm going to leave this graphic here. I want you to notice this as I step it through time here. Okay, the warmer air will migrate towards Mexico. You'll start noticing it building in the west here. And then eventually, give it over the weekend, you start seeing the cool air dip into the eastern United States here. And then finally, there's that reinforcing shot of cooler air right here for Tuesday. This is the low pressure center right here. And then as I step it through time, notice now we finally get cooler air here in the eastern United States. This is below average temperatures right here for Wednesday of next week. And then as I continue to step it through, it continues to be cooler than average across the eastern United States. And notice the angle right here as well. Notice the angle right here going down this way. So even though you tend to see warmer air here, there could be another shot that comes across the United States, eastern United States with cooler weather. So the bottom line is, as I said in the beginning here, that it is going to go ahead and deliver us a weather pattern change. So let me go ahead and empty this out. Okay, so again, remember this week into this weekend, sunny, hot, and dry weather will continue. But as we get into early next week, we're going to start noticing some rain, some storms return to Florida. And then behind it, Wednesday and through the remainder of next week, we will be cooler here in Florida as we finally ease off from the record-breaking heat across many parts of Florida that have been in the 90s in the afternoon so early in the year. So thank you very much again for joining in to this edition of the Florida Weather Watch as we are awaiting an upcoming pattern change that will affect all of the United States, including Florida. Please make sure you hit that subscribe button to expand this community, and also share this out with all your friends and family in the state of Florida, as well as hitting that like button below. And as I've always said, I'm going to close out with this quote from my late great cross country coach. There will be weather, whether or not. But whatever the weather will be, I will be here tracking it. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. Have a great rest of your work week. And thank you very much for joining in. I will have further updates as the week goes along, especially this weekend, as details start coming further into clarity.